Welcome to the iNetrepreneur Radio Show. We are so honored to bring you your host, the ultimate celebritypreneur, connecting businesses and celebrities worldwide. Winner of the Networking Organization of the Year, best-selling author, magazine publisher, trainer, and owner and founder of Network Together and the iNetrepreneur Media Network for magazines, TV, and radio network. We're excited to bring you your host, Mr. Robert W. Jones.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. Yes, I am indeed Robert W. Jones, owner and founder of the iNetrepreneur Network. And I'm excited today because we're going to go new school, but I'm also going to talk a little bit about the old school, about the Web 2.0 world. But I want to remind everyone you can find us on Facebook and on our YouTube channel, and that's YouTube.com/iNetrepreneur, iNetrepreneur Radio. You can find us a couple of ways there. We're also on LinkedIn under my profile and also in our iNetrepreneur community. I want to remind everyone, though, that next week is, believe it or not, the week of Thanksgiving in the United States of America here. We have Thanksgiving. I'm saying that because partly I'm doing that for Diana because she's out there stuck in the cold world of Germany while the rest of us are over here in the United States, like me and Christian and Zion. We live in the Southwest, so we know what 90 to 100-degree days are like. But no meetings next week, no radio shows. We are all next week. So I just want to remind everyone about that. But we will be back on the air with Dr. Karen Perkins on the 7-Figure Jump. Her show is every Tuesday from 9 until, well, now it's 10 until 11 because, of course, Arizona doesn't change its time zone. And we will be here next in 2 weeks on December 3rd, same time, 2:30 to 3:30 Arizona time. Today, what we're going to be talking about is we're going to be talking about social media. And, I've been around long enough. My background is I worked for GoDaddy. I've worked for Intuit, Linsco Private Ledger. I'm a recovering programmer. That's what I used to do. I had no idea that I'd ever be on a radio show. I had no idea that I'd ever be on a stage. But what I found is people are so much more fascinating than zeros and ones. But, and again, I want to thank you all here today. So what is social media? Well, social media actually has changed over the last few years. When I was in the business, social media wasn't even called social media. It was called the next generation. That was Web 2.0. And the major markers between the web and Web 2.0 is we could actually have interaction between all the electronic devices that we could get on. So I could get on my computer and I could actually, respond with user-generated content where someone posts something and I could actually comment back, or I could upload a picture, or I could even one day I could even have a video going. I mean, I remember the days where websites were just there to actually be kind of like a glorified, portfolio or brochure that we had to send everyone to look at and then maybe pick on the phone to comment or call or do other things. When Web 2.0 came along, all of a sudden everything changed. It actually meant that companies could actually personally communicate with their actual audience. And I thought that was like the coolest thing in the world. I didn't know who was on the other end. I didn't know who I was contacting, but it was so cool that even I remember even AOL, they had instant messenger and people could communicate back and forth. How far have we come from those days? So I'm really excited to bring one of our rock stars, Zion William Crane, all the way out from Las Vegas. And, I might go a little old school on him. He's probably going to bring me back in the future. I don't know if we're going to TikTok or Pinterest or Instagram or LinkedIn, but I'm really excited to have you here today. How's it going, Zion?
It's going really, really well. It's almost Friday and it's almost Thanksgiving, which I
It
didn't
is.
even realize till I
It
looked at my calendar.
is. It's almost Friday. You know, in my nose, I can. You know, I've eaten enough turkey in my life. It's like I can almost feel it coming up in my nostrils. I am ready for the stuffing, the mashed potatoes, and the turkey. It's the only time of year I feel like I can really eat bad. Right?
Yeah, yeah. Like it's the one time where it's okay and no one will judge you. Even your personal trainer is like, dude, you just go hard, get all the stuffing you want.
Yeah, that's right. And then it's like, you know what? COVID-10 out the door. Okay.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going COVID-10 plus I'm going to do another 5 and raise you. So I'm going to do the turkey 5, the COVID-10, and I'm good to go. You know, so that just means 2021. I'm just going to have to, you know, hit the ground running like in double time. What do you think?
Oh, I think it's about right. My favorite part is the stuffing, which is the worst part of it for you. So we'll be in the gym
Right?
together.
Oh my gosh. Well, Zion, you know, I'm really excited that you're here today. I know you might have heard a little bit about my background. I was a computer programmer. I made database applications. I made websites. I worked for some, you know, very large companies. You know, and really what our goal was to create content that people would want to come to. You know, and then all of a sudden there was this change to where, you know, we didn't have to have all the content provided. What we would really striving for was to get interaction between our companies and our users.
Right.
You know,
Engagement.
and you know, and that kind of turned in from Web 2.0 into this other world called social media. But now, I mean, you might agree with me, we're starting to get to this whole other world. I almost feel like it's a Web 3.0 because now everything's converging again because with the apps and with voice activation and AI and the websites and the different hubs, all these things we've turned this thing into like this omni-channel marketing thing that has all these arms going everywhere, don't we?
It's insane because you bring up Web 2.0 and it's literally the first time I've ever heard that statement. I'm 19.
Don't
so
say that.
The Web 2.0 world was me in diapers still.
Yeah.
So
yep. So, you know, so like Web 2.0, I'm so glad they went from Web 2.0 to like at least social media.
Yeah,
because
it sounds more
social
normal.
media sounds somewhat social and somewhat media-like, right?
Yeah, yeah. When you say Web 2.0, 3.0, it still sounds techie. It still sounds like it's not open to everyone.
That's my world, man.
Hey, look, that's my world too. I got into coding, AI, robotics, machine learning, really, really, really heavy 11, 12, and 13. So I was doing it about 6, 7 hours a day, little things like, you know, stock market AI stuff. It was all terrible. It was all bad, but I just really enjoyed algorithms and making numbers make sense. I'm a numbers guy at heart.
And I'm a numbers guy too. When my master's was in statistical analysis, so I mean it was a really crazy world. So going back, I mean, like with me when I was a kid, I didn't have the world that you have in front of you. I'm jealous, man. I would have loved to have been in this world. I had bikes in the driveway and kids eating my mama's lasagna. That's what I had as a kid. There was no iPad, there was no phone, there was no tablet, there was no desktop computer. None of that existed. I mean, heck, I actually had to like yell at my mom to get her to pay attention. I mean, there was no Siri to give me answers. I actually had to ask her for answers.
Yeah, mom was Google and Siri.
Mom helped me out. So tell me a little bit about like, let's go back to your childhood a little bit. You have grown up. What is like that first technology that you remember where you pivoted into it and you said, man, this is making my eyes pop. This is making my brain glow. And this is where I want to go in life. What caused you to do that?
So actually, my goal now still is, but it all started because I saw Iron Man for the first time in like middle school. And I was like, I'm going to be Tony Stark. Like, that's it. That's the dream. So then that was when I get into my coding phase, because obviously I wanted to make Jarvis first. Because if I had a robot that could talk to me and knew everything and could build
so you had Tony Stark?
Yeah.
Man, I had like Shaggy and Scooby. Okay.
Oh, no. I mean, I do love it. I do love Scooby-Doo. I won't lie. Even to this day, Scooby-Doo and SpongeBob are like the best background noise TV that you can have on, because it's nostalgic and you also don't have to pay attention because it doesn't really matter because the new episode is not at all correlated to the other one. So it's just some good background noise to have. But I definitely have a special place in my heart for Iron Man and Tony Stark because it gave me the dream. It was the first time where I saw what I guess the upper level of life could be like, you know, with the fancy R8 and the super cool cliff mansion and the spotlight and paparazzi and you know that look. That was the first time I'd ever seen it aside from like on a magazine or in a movie. It was like Iron Man made it feel real because Robert Downey Jr. himself, he embodied it so much that it didn't feel like a Marvel movie. It felt like a documentary.
Yeah.
And so I really took inspiration off of that.
You know, it really gives you the feeling that anything is attainable if you just use this thing right there.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you can create it, you can dream it. I mean, what we have access to now can just blow the mind. And really, you know, what happens is most people, they limit themselves because there are almost no limitations now that we live in this digital world. Do I want personal? Do I want fist bumps? Do I want hugs? Do I want high fives? Absolutely. But what's so cool about here is my connections are infinite.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with anyone in any part of the world. And gosh, with Space Force and with Elon Musk, who knows? I mean, we're going to be communicating with people that are just in other places in our solar system.
Yeah.
Sometime. That's what I'm really crazy about. So tell me a few more things. What were your parents involved with this? Was it the school?
Oof.
You know, like what is your
Mm-hmm.
personal superhero that made you feel like, you know, this is a guy or a gal that, you know, I want to emulate, you know, that's closer to your world right now?
So in the beginning stages, I won't lie, it literally was just Tony Stark. Like all I had was me. And I'm proud to say that I can say with complete honesty, like I built everything that is today from complete scratch. And it's because I didn't have my family is actually anti-entrepreneur. So the whole time I was doing this, it was all under closed doors. It was me disappearing into my room because I was working on the business, but they thought I was doing homework because where I come from, my family roots, my grandmother's like the pinnacle of my family because she went to college. She's an oncology nurse. She's been one for like 40 years. So she has the nice BMWs and she skis like 8-9 times a year. So like in my family, like she's the top dog. And I was the closest thing that they've had to that since her, because in high school, just my senior year alone, I had like 13 APs, 7 dual credit classes, and that was like a lot. But I didn't want to take the academic route because I'm not a fan of that way of life.
You know, you're driven from here. You know,
I'm driven from here.
Yeah, it's very hard to get the things from out there many times because, you know, when you already have it, you have it. You know, and you at a young age have developed this acumen for a world that, you know, even kids like my kids. I have 2 sons and 2 daughters, and you know, each one of them is so very different. And you know, like, and I learn a lot from them, but more from the, like, I would say like an end user side or the client side of it, but not from actually someone who actually is creating you know, new, I call them points of access, because really that's what it is. It's point of access where you and I can talk and communicate and feel a different way than at any other time in history, you know. And knowing that when you work with clients, you know, and you sit down with them and you're listening to what their designs are, what are some of the like 3 favorite tools? I don't want to just do one, but like, what's 3 favorite tools that you like to work with clients with? You know, and I'll stop with that. 3 favorite tools.
3 favorite tools. First one has got to be, honestly, it's Supermetrics, because I just really love the way it does its reporting. It's so smart and it's editable, and you can have different tabs and you can pick your different criteria for filtering and things like that. I just enjoy how well the data is presented. I'm a data guy because of like the coding background. I'm also a stats nerd, so I'm all about the numbers. So whatever shows me the best numbers and the best sample sizes, like that's where I want to be. So
like Supermetrics, it gives you like the good data, but it also gives you the great UI.
Yes, it gives you
a user interface. Everyone, that means like the graphics.
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, user interface.
Right.
Yeah, and it's fully customizable, even like to the colors and the background. Like it's almost like PowerPoint, the way you can customize it, but it still has all the data integrity because you can pull stuff from Facebook, from Google, from LinkedIn, from Excel spreadsheets. So you really get all the data in one very nice little PowerPoint that you can edit and select. And what about in this country specifically, or what about with this specific audience, or on this month, how many did we convert on this day at this time? how many conversions did we have? How many clicks did we have? And I love that. That's something priceless.
So like a blueprint person, you can really just get to the facts really quickly, and you can state it. But if there's someone else who's more knowledge based in the mind or whatever, you can also go deeper into the why that the metrics look like this and what you can do to carry on, if any new initiative that company may have, right?
Yeah, and it's definitely different because there are clients they're fine if I just say, hey, this month we did a 3x ROAS and a click-through rate of 2.8% and whatever. But some people are like, what does this mean? Like, I need a picture. Like, I need to see it. Right. And for those people, that's where Supermetrics comes in. And then even if you're not a visual learner, it's so concise and so readable that there's no way for you to not get the information from it.
I love that. And so second tool, what's another tool that you're just geeked on right now?
Second tool that I'm geeked on right now is actually a very, 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 very new company, maybe 3 months old, not even. It's called Copy.ai, and it's exactly what it sounds like. It writes copy. It's a copywriting AI, except it's so incredibly smart. Like, you would truly think that it was someone really writing it.
Get out. I mean, with me, I used copy spinners and copy recyclers, and there was a lot of tools that I would use in the day, but Google got so smart, it could tell, what we were doing. Because we would spin and cycle. I mean, I used to work for a gentleman named Dan Kennedy, and he did a lot of great copy.
You worked with Dan Kennedy?
Yeah. I was actually one of the little guys that would throw up blogs, and if the blogs would take off and trend in Google, right, then would put e-commerce on it and build a website from it back in the day. It's so different now, what we do, but it was really amazing. And when I left that world to start working for this other pharmaceutical company, what we were doing was like many of the words we could recycle and create content from it. But the thing is that it still felt mechanical. So copy AI sounds like almost like a magic pill for a lot of people.
It really, 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 really is, because it's like you type in the name of the business and then you can actually select what type of tone do you want. Like, do you have a luxury brand? Are you trying to be bold and inspiring and brave? Or are you trying to sound very friendly and customer oriented? And then once you select that, the copy adjusts to that. And you just type in a short description.
It's like going old school. It's like, what's your motivation?
Yeah.
Like an actor.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually put motivation into the functionality of the words themselves.
Exactly. And you get pages and pages and pages of copy. Some of them are just a sentence, because you can pick too, and this is where it really shows its capabilities. It can do it for headlines. It can do it for ad descriptions. It can do it for product descriptions. Google, the little Google description on your site.
Right.
And it regenerates. And as you reiterate it, it actually, because you can go down and like the ones that you like, and as you refresh, it'll take the ones that you like and do more of that style. So it actually gets better as you run the algorithm more and more and more.
So it constantly learning, like a conscience and whatnot.
Yes.
And it picks up attributes, and it's able to replace and refine. So any others that some of us junkies out there may know. So of like Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, some of the other bigs, LinkedIn, or what is a tool that you really feel like it's still there, man? It's tried and true, and it just really gets the means done.
Facebook and TikTok.
Just
as an existence. TikTok, if you can figure out how to put what you have on there, is a priceless tool. The hard part is not everything is so visual or videoable to where you can upload it onto TikTok. I mean, if you get creative, you can definitely find a way, but there's a small barrier to entry if you can't find that adjustment. But with Facebook, I just love it or hate it, which I do a little bit of both. It's Facebook, but the data that it has just can't be compared to any other thing that's out right now. Like, no one else has data on people like Facebook does, good or bad, but that's something that makes it absolutely priceless.
And I agree. And the thing is they have years of data, compiled data. And believe me, they have screwed up a couple of times their own internal AI, and they had to redo themselves about 4 times. But what they finally did was they got to the point of just using sampling of data by Facebook influencers.
Yeah.
By just pulling out the Facebook influencers and the algorithms, guess what? All of a sudden, they actually came out with the most tasty concept in data projections, that I've ever seen. Like, I mean, just, Facebook Pixel, what a great tool.
Oh, yes. Yes.
I can track any channel from, heck, I feel like it's telling me where it's going before I know.
Right. Yeah.
It's just amazing what technology does. Well, I got 2 other guests today, so I got to keep moving, but tell me, I'm going to put your banner up here, Zion. Let me put it up here again. I'm going to show it. This old radio kind of show going on. It's, and I don't even know what radio shows. I always say, what's the difference between a radio show and a television show? And I say the set.
Yeah,
it's honestly. Pretty much, for me right now, we're on television. But right now we're television.
No, this is the new TV. 100%.
This is the new TV. So tell them what's the best ways that people can get with you so they can learn about Supermetrics, they can learn about Copy.ai, Facebook, and TikTok. How can they get a hold of you?
So the best way to get a hold of me is just to go to my website, zwc-media.com. Or you can connect with me on LinkedIn. It's just my name. And we can go in as deep as you want to. The difference is the digital marketing world is definitely getting busy, borderline saturated. However, everyone there knows how to make ads, but no one understands the platforms themselves that they are advertising on. They don't know the context that which Facebook's algorithm works. They can't tell you why it does what it does. They can't tell you what happens after you hit run the ad. And that is the key differentiator between someone who's really in this business and someone who's in it to make a quick buck. And unfortunately, that quick buck is 95% of this industry right now.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. Zion, thank you so much for being on the show with me today. I'm telling you, we're going to have to do this again because this is not a one-off, okay?
Oh, no, most definitely. No. But next time I get to ask you questions.
Oh. So you want to go back? You want to go back to Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, right?
1.0.
Oh my goodness! I can tell you Prio. How's that? We can go back to bulletin board days.
Crazy that 40 years ago we really had those really big boxy computers with the little beep boop, and the thought of having one in your, not alone in your house, but just that fit on a desk was unfathomable.
And I have pictures from my dad working on the old time computers, and he left his world on the Cray computer, which was the most powerful computer of its time when he left. So Zion, thank you so much for being on the show. I got to get my commercial responsors, but stick around after the show. Let's chat a little bit more.
Absolutely.
Network together. It's all about connections. Expand your sphere of influence. Build relationships. Be part of something bigger. Be part of Network Together.
Hi, my name is Nathan Hirsch, and I build and even sell businesses completely run by virtual assistants. That's right. No office, no US employees, just remote, non-US virtual assistants. And I recently scaled an 8-figure business with just VAs. Now, I want to teach other people how to do the same with my new venture, Outsource School. We teach you how to interview, onboard, train, and manage virtual assistants at a very high level. We also give you access to our standard operating procedures, our library of SOPs, and a tool to create and share your SOPs. Not to mention community, support, live coaching calls to help you build amazing virtual teams and avoid the issues that your competitors are probably having. If you are interested, go to outsourceschool.com. You can grab a free trial to check out what Outsource School is all about.
Well, thanks again, Zion, for being on the show. What a wonderful, wonderful information that you gave us with the 3 tools that you utilize right now. Next on the show, we have from Deutschland, Germany, we have Diana Lammers. I probably just butchered that, but Diana, how are you this evening, Diana?
I'm brilliant. Thank you, Robert. How are you?
I am outstanding. I am so glad that you're here with us today and that you're staying up very late to be with us here today. Because right now, what time is it out there in Germany?
It's 11 p.m.
11 p.m. So it's a little bit different in the time zone than us here in Arizona. So I'm really glad that we had Zion on right before you. He really did give us a lot of things to think about and what he uses to help business owners launch themselves from a 1.0 to a 2.0, I guess. But what I like is you offer many things in addition to the social media aspects of life. You also go into the actual crafting and creation of the messaging and the missions of clients, to where I've always said this, and it's still true to this day. When I first got into computer programming, there was always one saying that I'll never forget: garbage in, garbage out. And you could make any tool in the world, but if the content and the messaging is not clear and it hits the unintended audience, guess what? It's a miss. There is no connection. There is no conversation. There is no reciprocation when you miss your audience because of poor messaging and bad methods. But tell us a little bit about your history and maybe the pivot point to where you became DL Media.
Well, first off, the closest I ever came to coding was MySpace. So I'm MySpace generation. I'm a Zennial. So my background is radio. I used to be a radio news anchor, and back then we learned to write for people who had a short attention span, because it's writing for radio is different than writing for the newspaper or magazine, right? Because people don't have the time to listen to it. They're in their car, they're doing something. So all of that already prepared me for today's day. Mm-hmm. Because today we don't have that attention span anymore that we used to have 20 years ago, because everything is faster. We have more news, social media platforms. We have so many things where we want to post, where we want to be, where we want to check, where we want to engage, where we have to engage, because otherwise we are going to be punished. Right now, for Facebook, you can't just like. They are actually measuring the time you would need to read a post. Then you can like it, and then you better comment on it, because otherwise they won't show you as much as they used to, so you can influence your own reach. It's crazy.
Yeah, I am so glad you brought that up, because shelf life matters. Is there any remote stickability of anything that's being posted? And boy, social media companies, the data that they're able to take from time, it is almost immeasurable when it comes to the advertiser and those who consume that content. That is a really big area right now. But what your job is really, we are bombarded every single day with bullets of information in multiple ways. And like Zion said, we can only get so much of it. We can only retain so much of it. We can only consume so much of it. But what you do really for our listeners is what you do is you drive the attention to the funnels that you work in. Is that correct?
That is correct. So a lot of times, I always translate it to, let's say you go to a website and you happen to not be able to speak Chinese, right? They have an amazing funnel, great content, but you can't read it because you don't speak Chinese. Same as happens in Lost in Translation, even though you speak the same language. Let's stay with Homer Simpson and his dog. When he talked to his dog, all his dog heard was blah, 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 but he spoke English. And sometimes it's the same with the messaging. They're so experts in their fields that they forgot how to explain it in an easy way. And when you go to the website, you think like, oh, this is what you do. No, that is not what I'm doing. I'm actually doing something different. Okay, well, the message was not clear. Or they explain something nicely in amazing words. But the question afterwards is, wonderful. And what is it that you do? You know,
right.
so
yes. Yes.
So you basically need to make sure your message is clear, that you tell others what you can do for them. And a lot of copy there that I see on websites, there's a lot of I or we can do this, I can do this. But it's more about the, like how do you benefit someone else? And not like what you've learned. Well, you've probably learned a lot because you're an expert in your field. So that's what I just assume when I'm your client. So what can you do for me? And I also help people to get in front of the news media. I do public relations. However, public relations does not mean media relations. That's another misconception, because people think, oh, I have to be on the news media. But it's the same with Facebook ads. You don't run ads for the whole Facebook audience. You target, right? So you don't need to be on the 8 o'clock news.
Yes, and you know, and I want to get back to the specifics of what you're really talking about. You know, one of the things that I don't hear a lot of marketers, especially digital marketers, really use is the tried and true terminology of market segmentation. And that's really what we're doing is we're looking at our marketplace and we're looking at the audience and seeing, you know, in this segment, will people be raising our hands for the content we're offering, correct?
Mm-hmm. Well, and people are also offered by many public relation agencies, oh, I'm going to get you in front of 400 news media outlets. Well, if you send an email to info@nbc.com, it goes nowhere. Yes. No editor is ever going to read it. So what you want to do is you want to handpick the editor who's actually interested in your topic so that it gets picked and will be published or will be broadcasted. That's so important. It's super, super important. And
well,
it's important.
Yeah, and you know, and it goes back to, you're bringing back up the most important part of any equation. It's going and actually finding the decision maker to create the personal relationship that will help propel you in the areas where you can succeed, but also they can succeed, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. And the social media does help you. So public relations is more than just like sending out a press release. It's like, be present on social media, utilize social media. A lot of businesses are not aware that they can use TikTok, for example, in order to push their business. There are so many small businesses out there. And now that TikTok is not a platform where you dance and lip sync anymore, but actually teach content. There are small business owners who do small films or short films on how they built their business to share their knowledge or to get their product out there. So they have a behind the scenes, how do I make the product? Or teachers that actually are teaching things, or there are dentists out there that tell you how to floss your teeth. And it's amazing. It's an amazing opportunity that small business owners and entrepreneurs just can't miss.
Well, in you know, and I've seen so much growth in so many ways because, you know, we as business owners, especially as we grow, we're spinning, Diana, so many different plates. I mean, there's website, there's Facebook, there's LinkedIn, there is, you know, drip campaigns through the CRM, and then all of a sudden you start getting Pinterest involved, and all of a sudden you have your YouTube channel, and then all of a sudden you have all these balls spiraling out of control, don't you?
Yeah, and it's like every platform is trying to copy something of the other one. A few minutes before we started today, of course, I was on TikTok. So I saw this TikTok from a social media manager, what they're supposed to do today nowadays. Like, and she went like up, down, up, down, up, down. So you need, Instagram has Reels now. Twitter came out with something new, stunning. It's almost like Instagram stories. So they are very proud that they came up with something new. And so there was a comedian on TikTok who actually made fun of it. showed up as Instagram, as Facebook, and as Twitter. And Twitter came in like, hey, I have something new. And then Instagram said, oh, what is it? Well, you can post a picture or a video. It stays there for 24 hours. And Facebook said, really? That's stories. And so, there's so many platforms you need to feed now. It's a full-time job. It's like social media has become a full-time job. It's nothing you can just do. A lot of companies still are under the assumption that they can just do it on the side. No, it's a full-time job.
I mean, social media is, in a certain manner, your new sales associate.
Yeah.
And I don't mean to limit it to sales, because sales in many ways always has such a bad reputation. But at the end of the day, sales matter. And the person who's able to connect their who and their why to the audience of themselves or their company, in the end, those are what people really want to be. They want to see that authentic person who's consistent in their message and who always shows up. I can't tell you how many times I see companies fail because they don't develop a sound social media strategy to carry them on, not just next year, but really next month.
Or they have a whole essay written as a post. And no one has the time anymore. It's like, please, if someone really wants to get into the topic, have a for more info, visit our website, which also means that they go to your website. And and back then, you remember when we were younger, sales was on, like, someone would ring your doorbell or someone would show up or call you and say, hey, I have this for you. Nowadays, sales is different. Nowadays, sales is like, add value first, show me what you can do, and then I decide if I want to keep on buying what you offer. It's not anymore like I come in, I show you real quick, okay, this is like, I can clean your couch in 5 minutes. No, it's actually like real value that is being added. And then you can decide, okay, I want to go with this person or I don't. I do learn something from that person, or we don't click, I move on.
Yeah, and credibility matters. I mean, one of the things that I've really noticed differently now is there used to be this commercial, is it real or is it Memorex? And, we have so much access to, in so many ways, about people in manners that we've never had in the history of our humankind. And, someone could say, yeah, I'm valued this much, and I'm going to sell a package for $25,000 or coaching program. And you know what? Then what do we do as consumers or clients or prospects or whatever? We're going to go check that person out. And there's a big difference between someone who has 60 people in their LinkedIn profile versus 600 versus 6,000. There's a big difference between someone seeing that their YouTube channel has a video in it that has 2 views versus, a few hundred videos all being viewed. We can go and access and find the social validation of who they are and what they do. Now, my question though is, and you brought up some really great things, and I want to know is, how do I stay organized? Or who do I find to help me get organized? Or where do I go to have someone come in? Because most business owners don't even know the questions that they need to ask someone who's going to take over their social media construct of their business.
A lot of times they think one company can do it. I would not suggest that. There are people out there that are PR specialists. There are people out there that are social media specialists. There are people out there that are advertising specialists. So get a team together and work with a team of different experts. You don't want just like one company that does it all necessarily. If they have different experts, that's fine. But one person, in my humble opinion, can't be an expert in all of those fields. They can do a little bit of everything, but they are not a complete expert on it. Right. And then have them all work together. And you can utilize different contents. The copywriter can write something you can use to go to the news media to suggest it as a story. You can write the copy for the website and then create a TikTok and utilize the footage there for reels. And there's even a way to get rid of the watermark so that reads doesn't see that it was on TikTok first. But so, and those tricks you learn on TikTok. So there are different ways. I would really suggest a team, and because honestly, if you start a business and you're a business owner, you love what you do, you have a passion, but you do not sign up for social media. That's, it's like the doctors didn't sign up for all the paperwork. They sign up to help people and not to fill out. I don't know how it is in the US. Like over here, we love paperwork. So they have to fill out so many forms and spend hours and hours. And that's not what I wanted to do. Same with the business owner. They don't want to stay on social media the whole time. They don't want to write copy the whole time. They want to focus on what they love, and they should. And that's the secret to the success. Surround yourself with the people who have the same passion for their profession. Build a team. It's I call like I learned that from Sean Callaghan. It's merging ecosystems. Everyone is an ecosystem, and if you merge your ecosystem, you get a huge ecosystem. And it's almost like nature, or like the word, everything is made out of energy, cells, and when it all comes together, it creates something perfect.
And I have something. I'm a gardener. I love gardening, and I always tell business owners, I say, think about your garden. The plants need sun, they need water, they need nutrients, they need a place to grow, all these things. And what sometimes happens is if you put too much water in one area, those plants die because they're being overfed. You can overdo things, and then the other plants are being neglected. And I see a lot of companies, they don't do a great job of balancing the method of getting their message out. And I think that that's very, very important. I mean, I see multinational companies coming to other companies saying, we don't get it, we don't understand it, please come help us, take us into the world where we're communicating with our audience, our clients, our prospects, our consumers, and etc. So Diana, the segments always go so fast on this show. I have your information scrolling across on the bottom. I mean, these are ways where people can get to meet you, to know more. But what are other ways that people can also reach out and contact you and get to know you better?
Well, of course, LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is highly underrated. Like people slowly catch up on it.
Right.
LinkedIn, that is my name, Diana Lammerts, and Instagram, of course, and Facebook. Even though I'm not too much of a Facebook fan, I'm still there because we all have to be. But other than that, it's Instagram and definitely LinkedIn, and via email, of course. Yeah, and I'm always happy to adjust. So I'm usually on Eastern time. So for me, it's actually not too late now.
Okay, well, that is great. Well, I am so excited that you were able to join us at such a late hour. For us, at 10:30, 11 at night. But if you love what you do, I guess time is irrelevant because you're going to do it at any time. I mean, I was up at 2:30 this morning writing myself. It's you just are driven to keep producing, because it really isn't what I do. I'm doing what I love, and I can see that in your eyes too. You do what you love.
That's important.
You have a passion for your clients. Well, thank you so much for being on our show today, Diana. I have got to get to another set of commercials, and it keeps our doors open and everything. But I appreciate you so much for being on the show. Thank you.
Meet Marty Barigian, a transformational energy connector, a global energy master, seeker of the universe, and the abundance connector. Join Marty for a live 3-day energy attraction and abundance workshop, Friday, November 20th through Sunday, November 22nd. Harness the specific energy required to attract abundance, love, and vitality into your life. Purchase your ticket at martybarigian.vip/life. Inspiration 365 Days of Inspiration, a way of leaving your legacy today and tomorrow. It's great to be inspired, but it's better to be the one doing the inspiring. Improving our children's lives, getting them excited about the things to come, and building a future. Also bringing our own selves more business, more credibility, and improving our search engine optimization. The value of quotes is they encourage us, speak to us, remind us, empower us, and comfort us. A thought can change your perception. Share your thoughts and offer strength to others. As Steve Jobs says, do something wonderful. Be a part of the art of connection. For more information and to secure your spot in history, go to www.365networkingquotes.com.
Well, I want to thank Diana so much for being on the show in the last segment. You know, she brought out some points that, really I don't hear enough of. And, social media really is a PR game. It's about captivating the audience and bringing people to you. And then after they bring, after those companies, after those people bring your prospective clients to you, it's really about creating enough content where they keep coming back. It has to be credible. It has to be timely. The other thing she stated as well, which I really enjoyed, is, no one person or even no one company has a lock on the whole world of social media. It's just too varied, it's too changing, and it's too necessary to have people who are really experts, in any of their digital marketing fields. But lastly, with Diana, I always say this: you can have all the technology in the world, but if you don't have a great copywriter who understands your mission and is able to construct the messages that go out, all the technology in the world can't save you. All it's going to do is going to pollute the water, so to speak, and drive people to your competitors. So thank you again so much, Diana. I really appreciate you being on the show. Next, we have Christian. I'm really excited about having Christian on the show. He is he's a young man here in Phoenix, Arizona. Hi, Christian. How are you?
Hello. Good. How are you?
I am doing well. What really geeks me out about you, and I don't think geek's a bad word. Geek is the best word. I loved being a nerd when I was back in high school. I was always like the misfit, but for the right reason. The only thing I didn't have was the black frame glasses with the tape in between. Okay, my lenses. But yeah, I want to thank you for being here today. And what I want to start is go just a little bit back in your life and just when was that epiphany point that said, hey, I'm kind of digging this social part of the world. The name of your company is Never Not Social. So there had to be some sparks. There had to be some heroes. There had to be some interest. There had to be some, mentoring going on in your life that made you say, you know what, I kind of dig this world and I'm actually going to be a part of this world. What did that look like when you had that moment?
Sure. So I was born and raised in a family of entrepreneurs. My dad is a restaurateur, and my mom has owned clothing stores and done some nonprofit work before. When I was in high school, actually, I was the business guy. I was in all the marketing classes. I was kind of a little bit of a marketing nerd myself, and I had a lot of creative friends. They were photographers and videographers and writers, and so we created a blog at the time. We had a little launch party for it and stuff, and this was when I was a junior in high school, and it really took off. We were doing brand deals. We had a 250-person fashion show here in Chandler. We had art galleries. We were selling lines of clothing, and then from there, after high school, I went and worked. I worked at the Chandler Chamber of Commerce, and I got to work with the President Terry Kimball and her whole staff. I love them so much. Shout out to them. But really, that opened my eyes to the social world. I was doing social media for them and for the businesses that they were represented. And from there, that kind of really pushed me in the door. And from that moment on, I've been working on we do not only social media, but we do all aspects. We do graphic design, photography, videography, web development, and everything else in between. You can think of.
Yeah, and you know, in some of the things I think that you have there that's really, really special is you have a lack of fear. You know, truthfully, you have a lacking of fear. And I say that so much of the time. My dad was a mathematician. My mom has her PhD in curriculum and instruction. I mean, they're the ones who went to school, they got all the degrees, and they earned great money in their professions, but they didn't go out and they didn't have that entrepreneurial hat on. And my mom or my dad, if you were to ask them to sell any idea in the world, they would fail miserably, not because they don't have the mind, the smarts to do it. They just would have the fear of doing it. And, you know, and I think that that's what you've had. I mean, how do you really face fear and model something so quickly? How did that come about?
Well, I would say that personally for me, I'm not only goal oriented, but I don't see fear as an obstacle, or making, failure or making a mistake as an obstacle. I see it as a learning, a learning curve. But really scaling this business was something that I wanted to do so badly. Prior to this, and I still am part-time, working at our family's restaurant, because family is very important to me. And when you have a business that my dad's passionate about, and I'm sure every business owner listening is passionate about, you want everyone to be involved.
Right.
And so obviously I still work there 1 or 2 nights a week. But social media is what I wanted to do. And like every other business owner, that's what they want to do. And from there, I work my butt off every day. I meet with everybody that I can, and I do the social media work that people really look forward to, help scale not only my business, but my clients as well. And
it's really funny you say that about, your parents being entrepreneurs and about you being goal oriented and not having fear. I mean, that really is the entrepreneurial life. I mean, in our organization, iNetrepreneur Network, one of the things I like to say all the time is we don't want entrepreneurship to start at 40 years old. We want to start at 14 or even younger. In my family too, I can see the difference in the way that I'm raising my kids versus how I was raised. I mean, with my kids, we put them out with a basket. We have them going around an audience, when this is before COVID, and they were doing 50-50 raffles. And let me tell you, Aiden being 10 and Troy being 12, they did better than any adult could ever do. Those kids could raise more money and had no fear. Us adults, we would shake in our shoes to go out and do what they did. They were just so amazing. But the thing is it became a part of them so early. Now, when you're working with your father in your restaurant business, I'm sure that you probably work with him in some of the social media aspects of the business, and probably there's some tools that you probably utilize to help get his business seen via the public. What are some of the tools that you could share with us that you use to help his business get seen?
Sure. The biggest thing that obviously they have a great management staff at that restaurant, and they do a lot of the social media work. I help them, more with the consulting side, because we are a family business. Everyone wants to have their hand in it. And I think that's how social media should be. I think, there's obviously the team of experts, but I'm not an expert in, your specific business. And so it's great to kind of have that team dynamic. But the things that I've, helped and implemented is, one is utilizing newer features that are coming out. Especially so with Instagram Reels, which is like the TikTok carbon copy. I've seen tremendous growth for my clients using Instagram Reels because it's so new, and Instagram's really, really pushing for it to try to get some.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
So putting out Reels has actually helped. Is helping the clients that I have. I have a client that's getting 800 new Instagram followers every week, just from Instagram Reels. Utilizing these new features. For Instagram specifically, that was helping. Obviously, the biggest thing that I would have recommended, and I've recommended to all of my clients, is really make it about a community. Really foster and cultivate that community, because I don't want to see a post personally, that is an essay long, as Diana said, or that doesn't really resonate with me. you know, I want to feel included in your business. I want to feel involved in it. You know, like I am contributing something. I'm a part of it. You know, that's what everyone wants in life. Everyone wants to feel a part of a team, a part of a culture, of a community. And that's the biggest thing that, you know, as a business to succeed, especially on social media, you really need to foster.
Yeah. I mean, you know, I talk about this all the time. I mean, everything around us is changing. You know, we have the ability to change the people in our life. We have the ability to change the information that we feed ourselves with. We have the ability to choose in certain ways. In some ways, you know, people say, well, they're taking away our freedoms in one way, but with technology and this digital new age, it's like there's a digital age within the digital age, you know, the way I'm looking at it. I mean, we're able to have a freedom of expression and to be able to create community in ways that we never have. And believe me, I see it firsthand. My mom, she's 79 years old, and hopefully she's not going to listen to any of this, because she'll probably be like, why'd you give away my age? But here's a lady that really was never in the world of Zoom, let's say. And so like 3 months ago, she probably didn't even know what Zoom was. And let me tell you, 3 days ago, she's telling me how to, you know, do a better Zoom. You know, so it's so a natural teacher. It's so crazy how, in a certain respect, I'm speechless by what COVID is doing to the world and to people and to humanity and homes and children and our elderly. I mean, it's really tough, because I have family members in every age group, and I've seen some of them pass away, you know, because of this. But on the flip side, there's also been a gift that's been given to all of us. I've also seen, you know, a bridging of the gap. I've always said, you know, the biggest gap isn't religion. It's not, you know, if you're black or if you're white or if you're a woman or if you're a man. For many years, up to like 9 months ago, I felt like the biggest gap that we have is the digital divide between, you know, those who grew up exclusively in the digital age and those who didn't. And now I'm starting to see this big gap start coming together, and we're creating communities that, you know, go beyond biology. And I think that that's what you do, and that's what you're creating, and that's what you did with even your organizations, because another thing that you do is you've created a community outreach organization. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I am sure you're referencing Born Again Vintage.
Yes.
So my mom has been very involved in charity work. And obviously we all love to just start businesses and roll the dice here. So she has helped the homeless so many years, just literally personally going down there, giving them a warm meal, giving them the clothes, socks that they need, you know, finding them shelter. And what she's realized that a lot of them have gone through the foster care system. And, you know, once you hit 21, that funding ends from DCS.
Right.
And, you know, I'm lucky and I'm blessed that I was raised in a well-off home, and that, you know, I had the resources and money available and things like that, and the opportunities that I could, you know, create a company. And I'm not saying that you need those, but it definitely helps. And having a family that believes in you. And for a lot of these foster kids that are aging out of the system, they don't have that. You know, they might have hopped group home to group home, or, you know, things, you know, go wrong. And that's what we're trying to gap. We want to be that transition to help them out with providing them shelter, food, water, clothing, because it's essential. And, you know, to be the support system that they need, to believe in them, which is what everybody needs. Fostering the community. Everything goes back to community.
You know, I agree. I work with Fostering 360, and I help raise an awareness with them, and also furnishing dignity. And, you know, here are things, because, you know, it's kind of like we're talking about the box of social media, but, you know, if we actually attach cause-based marketing, you know, along with social media, we actually get so much more impact out of it. I don't want to feel like it's sell, push, clip. I mean, you know what? I actually like watching funny cat videos every once in a while. I actually like seeing that business owners can, you know, post pictures, you know, at at shelters or at foster or stores that dedicated to foster kids and bringing clothing and items there. I mean, it's really interesting that you bring this up, because some of my most, I guess, commented on, and like Zion was talking about, time posts in LinkedIn or Facebook have always been about what I've done to give back. Not what I'm doing to, givers gain, to give, to get back. It's just, what am I doing to give? And, some of those posts, it may not be directly, marketing my business or what I do, right? But the thing is, I become more memorable to them because I'm creating the emotional impact that we are all trying to get, because content becomes more real once you can infuse some type of emotion into it, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. You want to be real on social media. That's the biggest thing. And it's obviously, you cannot do that if you just are constantly selling. Really build that brand loyalty, you want to show that you're a part of the community, that you're helping out different causes. You want to show that you're real. You want to, give those personal updates. Those things really shape your business and really help you grow and build that brand loyalty, especially.
Yeah, absolutely. So you gave us Instagram Reels, and and that's really something funny when companies, they really push. I feel like there needs to be like a new company brand manager who just goes out there and researches all the companies, because when they give is that initial stage. It's like that the first part of that curve. It's always like right in the beginning. It's like, the fast adopters of any technology seem to get the best. I mean, even in my world, I usually just jump on there and I'll pay that $500,000, $2,000 just to have a lifetime license for a lot of technologies. Is there, before we end our show here, is there maybe one other tool or technology that you found that just is uber useful for small business owners?
For small business owners, I would highly recommend, if you don't want to invest in a social media management company or marketing agency like myself, I would recommend going to get a scheduling app like later.com, where not only it takes you 20 minutes to schedule out a whole week's worth of posts on all of your platforms. It is so easy to do. But then you can go back, you can track your analytics on it, you can track which hashtags were successful, which were not, where people are reaching your post at, if people are clicking the link in your bio. You get all that information in one place. It saves you the most time because you're a business owner. You have business to get done. You know what I mean? Social media usually gets put on a different plate when it comes to business owners, but it should be very important to get done. So that would be my biggest tool or recommendation.
Yeah, it's so funny because I'll go back to Diana and even Zion. The biggest things are, social media, Web 2.0, whatever we want to call it. It can spiral out really quickly, and really it's the strategy, it's the management, it's the organization, and it's finding really people that they can trust. So Kristen, thank you so much for being on this show today as well. I mean, an hour goes by far too quickly. I have your information scrolling across the screen. Is there any other ways that people can reach out to you to get to know you better?
Feel free to follow Never Not Social on Instagram or to like our Facebook page. If you go on our website, you can do some stalking, as you should, of our portfolio and the clients we've helped. Right. And you can also schedule a free 30-minute consultation with me, and we can discuss your business.
I just have to laugh because my wife, Sean, sometimes I'll see her behind the computer. I'm like, hey, honey, what are you doing? I'm stalking. She says that exactly thing. And I'm like, so what are you trying to get out of it? Well, I just want to make sure that they really are who they say they are, because, she loves getting the social validation on anyone who contacts her out of the blue. So, thank you so much, Christian, for giving us, some great tools that we can use as business owners, but actually really going outside of just, the tools. looking at like what cause-based marketing, really can do and what you're doing for the community, and knowing that it's more than just making dollars. It's actually about creating impact, even in the smallest to the largest of ways for other people. And I want to say thank you for that.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Well, I am so excited about our show today. My name is Robert Jones. I'm the owner and founder of the iNetrepreneur Network. And I just want to thank again Zion, Christian, and Diana for being on our show today. We learned a lot about different tools, later.com. I'm writing it down, Instagram Reels. I'm actually enjoying it so much, I got to get Christian's banner off of here, off the site. I learned about, let me look at all my notes here. We learned a little bit more about TikTok, also, Super Matrix, Copy AI, and of course, utilizing Facebook in the right way. So please do it for love and not for evil. Again, we are here every Thursday, except next week because it's Thanksgiving, from 2:30 to 3:30 Arizona time. Thank you, everyone, for visiting us on the show. Thank you to all of my guests. You guys are outstanding. I feel like next time I need to make it a 2 or 3 hour show if I get you all on in the same show. So thank you so much, guys. Have a great week.
You've been watching the iNetrepreneur Show, a production of the iNetrepreneur Radio Network with host Robert W. Jones. Join Robert each week as he visits with new and exciting guests who inspire, teach, and mentor entrepreneurs worldwide. Follow Robert each Thursday at 1:30 p.m. Pacific, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, and 8:30 p.m. at Greenwich Mean Time.